For the next 10 minutes or so, we will discuss about the ambient air quality monitoring and different steps initiated for management of air quality of Delhi, the capital city, and how it happened. So it's a story of the last 3 decades, how we managed. When we talk about the capital city, that's a unique, more ways than one, and yet one that stands the world's most polluted capital, one of the most polluted capital. Try to understand the cause. It is necessary we deal with the geography of Delhi. Delhi covers around 1,500 square kilometer of area, a relatively small area when we compare to size of India. However, within this compact space, an enormous concentration of people, vehicle, and infrastructure resides. Being landlocked and very few rainy days, it's you can say except leaving 2 or 3 months, it's always comes under polluted category only. And Delhi record the not just highest population density but also highest vehicular density. Different source apportionment studies show different percentage of the contribution from various sources. We say about 60% of the pollutant which come to Delhi is from the transboundary movement. It may be trans-state or transboundary movement. Road dust is one of the major source, which because the Delhi is always problem is the particulate PM 2.5 and PM 10. When you see about the city is primarily built up, surrounded by satellite town like Gurugram and Noida, Faridabad on one side, and have approximately 23% of the land under green cover. Cutting through this urban expanse is the Yamuna River, which runs about 22 kilometers. And the major thing is floodplains 2 kilometers on both the sides, which is called ozone. It contributes about 97 square kilometer of the area. And when you concentrate on it, this floodplain is a striking mosaic of land use, agriculture in the north, but as you move downstream, that gives up to the colonies, slums, highways, temples, sport complex, and even the government buildings. Well, when you concentrate on the demographic angle, Delhi is even more striking. It houses nearly 1.4% of India's population, but occupies only 0.05% of the India's land area. This contrast alone explains the extraordinary pressure Delhi faces on resources, infrastructure, and its environment. And here we are concentrating on environment only. And this brings us to the defining challenge of the capital city, that's air pollution. Delhi has the unfortunate distinction, as I mentioned in the starting itself, as one of the most polluted capital in the world. Now comes the question, of course, so why, how we got here, and most importantly, what lies ahead. These are the three things. So why comes with the monitoring. So when we go back to the mid 80s, that's the time when air pollution had reached the alarming levels in Delhi. Industrial units were emitting pollutants, thermal power stations were spewing smoke, and vehicular emission coated the city in soot. Clothes would get dirty just by stepping outdoors. Respiratory illness became widespread. Once upon a time, they said every fifth kid is impacted by the bronchitis. That's the time when monitoring of air pollutant began. And the CPCB started. It is in the, you can say, late 80s when we started with the particulate. Not that time we ever talked about the PM 2.5 and PM 10. Actually, at that time we are talking the SPM, total particulate. Then come the sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide. With this available data, started the legal battle. It was the time when the environmental lawyer, Mr. M.C. Mehta, approached the Supreme Court with a public interest litigation in 1985. The petition highlighted the dire situation and urged the court to act. Among the key demands there, closing or relocating hazardous industry from the residential areas. Second, regulating emission from factories, enforcing stricter vehicle emission standard, installing electrostatic precipitator to power plants, or shutting them down altogether. Then actual turning point came when in 1998, with the establishment of Environmental Pollution Prevention and Control Authority, IPCA, under the Environmental Protection Act. IPCA's first report was very clear. Pollution control efforts had failed mainly because of outdated vehicles and weak enforcement. It laid out a detailed roadmap with deadlines, including the phasing out of the unleaded petrol, the conversion to CNG, the addition of more buses, the establishment of fuel testing labs, and stricter timelines. In 1998, the Supreme Court accepted this recommendation. By 2001, Delhi's buses and commercial vehicles are running on CNG. That's one of the most important impact we taken. Thousands of old autos and taxis were phased out and fuel standard began to improve. By the 1990s, the air quality monitoring had expanded, industries began relocating, and infrastructure projects were taking shape. Later reforms introduced BS6 fuel standards, stricter vehicle lifespan norms, and enhanced monitoring. Today, sorry, today Delhi has one of the most sophisticated air quality monitoring network in the world. A city with 40 continuous monitoring stations that monitor 8 parameters continuously, real time: particulate matter, SO2, NO2, CO, ozone, ammonia, and benzene. That's all what I given the notified. Otherwise, other meteorological factors and other parameters is continuously monitored. Different isolated studies go further deep and add more parameters in. The city has conducted 5 source apportionment studies over the last 1.5 decades, as well as emission inventories and assessment of carrying capacity is available. The city pioneered air quality index for public information. These all data generated by this 40 station is available in the public domain. That's unedited data. And with that, to turning it to the administrative tool, the air quality index is there. And on this basis, this data available, we started with the graded action plan. Graded action plan is a SOP which clearly defines the steps to be initiated at different stage of air pollution status. The judicial bodies from Supreme Court to NGT have continuously pushed reforms. Yet, despite all these measures, though a decreasing trend was observed, Delhi has not met either the WHO's clean air standard or even India's own national ambient air quality standard. The, the stated itself is a warning for indoor air quality. As the ambient air quality is highly influenced the indoor air quality. What is surrounding us, it will enter into my house. Once the pollutant is entered into the residential dwellings, it cannot be flushed out easily. And closed environment was observed to be more polluted than the ambient air due to faulty design and minimal ventilation. So, where did we flatter? Localized focus. Most action targeted Delhi, ignoring the fact the air does not respect state boundaries. The wider Indo-Gangetic plain, where we are situated, is left out. And we have to consider, as I gave the geographical area, so it's very minuscule. So if you try to control air pollution in the 1,400 or 1,500 square kilometer area in watertight compartment is just unachievable thing. And second thing, very important thing which we forget, we focused on PM10 and PM 2.5, but underestimated pollutant form in the atmosphere itself, which is we generally call secondary pollutants. Unregulated sources, small industries, fugitive dust, and biomass burning remained poorly addressed. Weak implementation. Measures like mechanical road sweeping or dust suppression often look good on paper but achieve very little on the ground. Or if I say very bluntly, we forget the science of dust suppression actually. The last 3 decades teach us one clear lesson: isolated interventions don't work. What Delhi need is a regional approach, airshed management involving Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Rajasthan, data-driven policy, better source apportionment, and predictive models. Now we have some predictive model which is used as tools, administrative tools, but we need the design smart interventions also. Sorry. Targeting neglected sources, fugitive dust, small industries. We shifted all the industrial area industries which is air polluting the industrial area to the clean fuel, that's gas based industries now. But the industries which is working in the outside the industrial area, they are burning any fuel. Stronger enforcement beyond guidelines, we need real compliance and accountability. Delhi has been a pioneer for many reforms, from unleaded petrol to CNG to advanced monitoring. Yet the capital city battle with air pollution is far from won. If Delhi to breathe clean air, the answer lies not piecemeal fixes but collective action across states, scientific rigor, and above all, political will. Clean air is not just an environmental issue, it is a question of public health, equity, and the future of our cities. Thank you. Thank you.